Hi everybody, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. So, today we're going to be doing galaxy pendants with jesmonite. So, Claire's been doing some of these with resin, but I wanted to try it with jesmonite, so I did some the other day and they turned out really cool. So, my room's quite small, and even when I use a mask, I find I'm getting a little bit of a headache when I use resin a lot. So I'm not doing it too much at the moment. Now it's winter because my windows are closed because I'm trying to keep warm. So going to use jesmonite, and I'm using interference powders. So interference micas. I find that these come out really cool. So what I'm going to do is I just got a little paintbrush. I'm just going to dip it in and not get a lot, and then just kind of tap, oops, moving my mat, just tap some in. So this is interference blue that I'm doing first. I'm going to start with blue on all of them. So I've got my love hearts, and I've got my rectangle pendants. I also have a starfish. I know how much so I've got 100 grams of jesmonite powder and 40 grams of the liquid, and I know that's going to do the pendants, the love hearts and the starfish, and that is if there's any left over. I'm not going to add any more mica into that. It's already got some left over from last time. I'm trying to get the mica out of it so I can use it for other stuff. Now I'm going in with a violet. So these colors actually come out more galaxy style. I've done some, I did a assortment of colors the other day. So for now, this is what I have chosen for today. So I wore one of these the other day, and at work, and everybody liked it. And I forgot to put mica in the starfish. The starfish doesn't turn out as good because it is not a flat surface. It's a blob. I don't want a blob. Oh. Sometimes when a blob comes out, you can't really fix it, so try not to get too much on your paintbrush when you're tapping it in. So that was blue and violet. Now I'm going to add some green to half of them, or maybe 2/3. So the blue was the first colour, so that's probably going to be the most dominant. But all the colours will show up, so just don't add too much powder, and I can tell you why as I go. I've just about added green to every of them. So I get on a groove. That's why sometimes I just stick to the one colour scheme per set, because my mind goes a little bit in its own pattern and I forget. I don't think I added green to that one. This is gold. So that one didn't. That one didn't. And we might actually add gold to this, because this one didn't get any blue. Okay, awesome. So that's done. Quick and easy. Now, I have 40 grams or 40 mils, no, it's 40 grams because by weight, 40 grams of jesmonite liquid and 100 grams of powder. I'm just going to mix them together off camera because I don't want the dust going in my artworks. Once it's started mixing, I can come back. There we go. I did add like 2 drops of water because last time it came out really thick. And now it's feeling really, really thin. So stirring it. White my stick. Re-stir it. Yeah, it's definitely thin. Oh well, doesn't matter. Now I'm just going to add black pigment to this. I'm using Bramblia Ultra Black. And put a little bit in because I want these quite dark. Okay, this is still looking a very dark grey. No, I want it to be a bit more black. So just a little bit more. The more darker it is, the more the interference shows up. That's why I use interference. Well, that's why I make this extra black when I use interference. So again, it's still not solid black. It's pretty dark grey. I might leave it as that. Okay, so that's mixed up and that's done. Now we get back to the pendants. So now I have isopropyl alcohol, and what I'm going to do is, without getting this everywhere, just do some gentle little sprays into it, just to wet it. I saw some mica come out then. Try not to add too much. Now it's, there we go. Now it's being temperamental. Now I've messed that one up, the starfish, because I've sprayed too much and it's all gone down to the bottom. That's okay. Just leaving that for a minute. Letting some of it dissolve. Okay, now get my jesmonite and just pour it in. These love hearts I only feel about 3/4 because they're quite thick mold. This one here I always fill from the top first and then let it go down to the bottom. Because if you get too much of the alcohol near that top nib, it can become a little bit... So if the alcohol clumps in any spot, the jesmonite kind of doesn't get solid in that spot. You kind of get like a little thin part. And I don't want that where... Anywhere else doesn't matter, but I don't want it where where you tie the pendant up. Go away, little bug. Just make sure that these are full, because these aren't the biggest pendants. Come on, drip, come on. Come on, drip. If I don't get it off now, it'll drip as I move it across everything else. Yeah, I don't know how well this starfish will turn out because I had to put too much alcohol in. So, and there is a little bit left over. So I just want to pour it into my bee mold. These bees are just cute. I stick them around the place, everywhere. If I go on holiday, I put a couple in the garden or in a cupboard in one of the rooms I stay in. Well, I've only done that once, but someone's going to find it. Probably some kid will find it and take it home. I just don't want to waste any jesmonite, so I might as well just put it into there. Okay, now I'm just going to give these a gentle blow. It just pops any of those surface bubbles. It feels thin. So I thought I added 2 drops of water. Maybe it ended up being a couple more drops than 2, but I have to do that sometimes because the jesmonite is starting to be quite thick. It could be the age that it was when I got it. Now all we have to do is just let these set. Normally I would let them set for 20 to 30 minutes. Because of its thin consistency, I might just go watch a TV show and leave it for an hour and then come back, and by then they should be nice and set. So that's it for the moment. But at the moment, all we've done is just used interference powders with alcohol and then poured jasmine into those, and now we're just going to let them set. And I'll show you afterwards how they turn out and what I do with them after I've demolded them. I'm just going to climb up to turn my camera off. So we will be back when I have completed the next step. Okay, catch you after. Alrighty, we are back. I left this for probably an hour and 15 minutes. I was busy watching TV. So these are now set. Pardon me. So I'll demold. Always go a little bit careful because there was alcohol in there. It takes a little bit longer for that part to evaporate and dry. Yeah, I put too much in this one. Too much alcohol. So see how I got a distinctive border? I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. But that happens when I put too much alcohol in. The spray wasn't spraying properly, so I kept spraying. Yeah, I think it's going to happen on all of them. This one not so much. This one's quite nice actually. It's got the blue, the purple and the gold. I think the gold actually looked better than the green. Okay, here we go everyone. So the video stopped halfway through. We're demolding. So they've already been demolded. So I'll show you the results. So you got to remember these are in their like raw form for the moment. So this is the one that has blue, purple and gold in it. I like that one, I think, a little bit more better than the blue, purple and greens. But they will look different when they are coloured. So at the moment, as you can see, the starfish didn't turn out as good. I put too much alcohol in it. And same with these ones. See how these have got a distinctive border? So when I sprayed the alcohol, it pushed a lot of the mica or the interference powders out to the edges. So then you got this real distinctive border around the edge. It happened on those two, not so much. Oh, that one there half did. But it didn't so much on the pendants because I tried to make sure that they weren't done. So this is how they look in their raw form. And that's a cute couple of little butterflies. They're nothing spectacular. They're just what I use up with the excess. So this is how they are in their raw form just after demolding. Now I'm going to bring up some ones I've done earlier. Pardon me. Okay, so now we have these. Let me just move these a little bit. Okay, sorry. So that's 3 I did, and this is another 3. So I tried this lot here, the bottom ones, I stick to the same colour scheme for the whole lot because I find it a little bit easier sometimes. So these top 3 I used a spray varnish on. So they look okay. They're quite pretty, but the varnish kind of doesn't go on it perfectly. You can see where there's extra powder, it doesn't stick as good. So it comes out a little bit uneven. Same with these. See this middle part? It's like the varnish didn't want to stick in that spot too well. It's still stuck. It's not going to rub off, but you can also see a couple of little pit holes. So that's spray varnish, probably about 4 coats. Yeah, but they still look quite pretty. They're nice and shiny, and the colours are really enhanced. Like, let me grab one of these. So see how that's a little bit more dull? When once you varnish it, the colours are real brightened up. But then, these ones, I got out my bottle of UV resin, which I have never used before, and did these. Now, if I can get the right angle, they're a lot more smoother in the way that the top coat. So they still get that beautiful colour come through. So the colour comes through either way, varnished or resined, but I think that it's a more smoother finish. But they definitely look like galaxy pendants. Really, really happy. This, I've got the flash on my camera at the moment, so they're actually lit up quite well. In a darker situation, you don't see as much, but when you look at this one here, which is the raw form, if you're in quite a dark area, you don't see them unless the light hits them on the right angle. When once they're varnished or resined, they come up quite well. I didn't bother about resining the edges. That doesn't matter. I just did the top surface face, and the back I have not sanded yet. I wanted to, because it's jesmonite, I have to wet sand it, and I wanted to make sure that the top part was covered before I sanded, because if I got this too wet, it could have rubbed off or washed off some of the powder. So now I'll take these to the sink or my bucket, and I'll actually wet sand the back of these before I put them on a chain. But I'm really, really happy. So this is how they look once they're coloured. Even though the ones I just did in my video are a different colour, they'll come out exactly like this. Beautiful galaxy pendants done with jesmonite. And if you don't have resin to seal it like this, just use your spray varnish and you will get very similar results. The only difference is it's just not as perfect. Like this one here's the worst one, which has got these few little craters, but it looks fine. You don't really notice it unless, like, it's the camera flash that's actually picking them up more than anything. But these look just as brilliant wearing it. But yeah, resin, it was actually a little bit easier to resin too, because I just did it once and then left it. But there you go. So this is how they look. I hope you guys had fun watching this. So let me know what you think. I'm going to do quite a few more, but these are interference. So interference only come in a few colours. So I'm going to try these with normal micas as well and see how they look. But yeah, so comment, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll try and go outside and show you some of these in the sunlight. Okay, all right, thanks everyone. Bye. Okay, so this is how these pieces turn out. They are outside in the shade. I'm trying to get some light onto them without them being too reflective. So see how galaxy they look? Really, really cool. So these top three here, I varnished with a spray varnished. It was just a spray gloss varnish. They have come out quite good. Probably some slight little imperfections that you can see where the varnish doesn't want to grab hold. This one here I have UV resined, and as you can see, a lot more smoother, shinier finish. But they both come out nice. So once they varnish, they get this brighter colour. When they're not varnished, they have quite a dull look and you can't notice it as much. So I say varnish or resin. I'm going to try normal resin, but because it's going to take a while to dry, I wanted to just do a UV resin to show you what it looks like. But these are my galaxy pendants. So if you've already got holes in it, this one here I've got a drill. But I'm actually really happy with the way that the UV resin. It's the first time I've actually ever used it. I opened up the bottle just to do this. So yeah. Well, let me know what you guys think, and we will come together and do another video very soon. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.